never take note.
101, right?
101, yeah.
Wow, Mr. Isaac.
We finished exercise 1.
Okay.
Isaac short by one
Miss
page.
Anissa, how come your audio is very clear tonight?
Because it's a new laptop.
Oh no!
So that explains it.
That's explained.
Finally.
Grace, Miss Anissa. So 101. So we finished exercise 1, right? Let's go now to exercise 2, which is اقرأ واكتب. اقرأ واكتب. Read and write. So the first one would be خالد له ابنان. You see, ibn, the alif is with a kasra only. And when it is in the middle, it turns into hamzat wasl. So we say خالد له ابنان وبنتان. في هذا البيت غرفتان كبيرتان. Who can read for me the example 3? Anyone?
Yeah, okay. فاطمة لها طفلان صغيران.
نعم. فاطمة لها طفلان صغيران. One of the trends, Miss Anissa, now in the social media and even some of the TV channels, the ta, for some reason they pronounce it like ta, like just like English. For some reason, I do not know why. And this is one of the mistakes, of course, because when you change the sound of ta into ta, or yeah, it's wrong. So it's فاطمة لها طفلان صغيران. And we know the meanings of those words, am I right?
No.
No? Okay. So let's start with the first one. Mr. Isaac is just pulling our leg, right? Okay, so Khalidun, it's a name of a person. It's coming from khulud, living forever, right? Someone who, yeah, Khalidun. Lahu. Lahu means has two boys, lahu bnani wa bintani, and 2 girls. الجملة الثانية عفوا في هذا البيت in this house غرفتان كبيرتان. Where is the مبتدأ, everybody? Who can find for me the مبتدأ? غرفتان, right? غرفتان is مبتدأ, but is it at the beginning? No. Therefore we call it مبتدأ مؤخر. Remember the word آخرة or آخر means at the I mean the last. Yes. So مبتدأ مؤخر. And كبيرتان نعت or صفة. فاطمة لها طفلان صغيران. So طفلان is مبتدأ مؤخر as well. فاطمة my apologies, sorry. I never realized that there is Fatima at the beginning. So Fatima is the مبتدأ. Now لها جار ومجرور, and it's the مجرور is ضمير متصل. طفلان صغيران. لي عينان ورجلان. ما معنى هذه الجملة؟ So طفل means boy. So فاطمة has two boys, two small boys. طفلان صغيران. في هذا البيت غرفتان. The dual of غرفة. So غرفتان كبيرتان. فاطمة لها طفلان صغيران. لي عينان وأذنان ويدان ورجلان. ما معنى هذه الجملة مستر ايزاك؟ Smile Mr. Isaac, smile please. Okay. Take it easy Mr. Isaac.
I know everything in pairs.
So what means عين?
I know.
Look at Miss Anisa. Look at Miss Anisa.
I.
أذنان is the dual of أذن.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
ويدان
Hands and feet.
ورجلان.
Okay, those are good guess. Okay.
Wow, that's great. We are proud of you, Mr. Isaac.
Not bad for good guess.
Yeah. Let's ask Mr. Matthias. It's quite too nice, Mr. Matthias. Am I right? After talking about Iran, he is suddenly become very quiet. Okay, Mr. Matthias. الجملة الخامسة لك. It's yours. تفضل.
في هذا حي مدرستان.
ممتاز. في هذا الحي مدرستان. Two schools, right? In this حي. حي means
area.
Yeah, you're right. So في هذا الحي مدرستان. So مدرستان.
Then or neighborhood, isn't it?
Neighborhood. Yeah. Neighborhood.
Oh, neighborhood.
Yeah. Just like Tampines North. Drive 1. So في هذا الحي. We miss to have a gathering for dinner or tea, everybody. Looking forward to that soon. في هذا الحي مدرستان. So مدرستان is مبتدأ مؤخر again. And then في هذا الحي will be في حرف جر. الحي اسم مجرور, right? هذا is اسم إشارة. So في هذا الحي will be خبر. But this خبر is not just one word. It will be شبه جملة. مكان جملة. ممتاز مستر مطايا، شكرا لك. الجملة السادسة من يقرأها لنا؟
صلاة الفجر ركعتان.
Very close, Mr. Matthias. So salatu is mudaf. Al-Fajr, Al-Fajr is mudafun ilayh. What do we need to give it?
We need to give. Then it should be in the genitive.
Kasra.
Sorry, kasra. Yeah.
Salatul Fajri rak'atan.
Rak'atan.
Yeah. Rak'atan means 2 times rak'ah. I'm not sure, Mr. Matthias, if you have seen how Muslims pray. So there are 5 prayers a day. 1 prayer before the sun rises, right? That is Salatul Fajr. Here in Singapore, they call it Subh, Salatul Subh. In the Middle East, it's used as Salatul Fajr. So Salatul Fajr, Salatu means the prayer of Al-Fajr. What is the meaning of Al-Fajr? Al-Fajr means the period of time. This period of time, it's just just like how to say, it's just a fine line between the darkness and when the the brightness of the day is coming starts actually.
Sunrise? Is it referring to sunrise?
Before the sunrise.
Oh, just before sunrise starts.
Yeah,
Just
it's about 5:30. 5:30. The sunrise is about 7.
Okay.
Yeah. So when the darkness starts to disappear, the dark. I mean, we in the city we do not. Everything is bright, right? Everything is with light. But when you go to village, the black color of the night will start disappearing slowly, and you will see some of the lights coming along the way. It's not the sun light, but it's that is صبح. So صلاة الفجر ركعتان. What is rak'ah? Just to explain to Mr. Matthias, maybe you have seen actually how the Muslims actually go down, bow, and go up, right? You have seen the way.
Yes.
So, for this prayer, we need to go down and then go up and down 2 times. So each time is called rak'ah. That's the meaning of the sentence. And الجملة السابعة, Mr. Isaac, it's not fair. Everyone is reading, you are not reading.
I'm reading in my heart.
On top of this, I chose for you the shortest.
Lil Baiti.
He is what?
Sorry?
Unchi.
Oh, Miftahuni.
So now 2, not 1.
Maftahuni.
Oh, just read it now, man.
What? You can't hear me?
No, I said just read it now, man. It's in front of you. Don't say Miftahuni.
I don't understand. Are you speaking English?
No, I said just read it from the book. You don't have to guess.
Oh, okay. I wasn't guessing. It was a question.
Yeah, I know that you were
Okay.
doing your best. Yes.
Okay, let me just read this again. Okay.
تفضل Mr. Isaac.
Okay. Libaiti
نعم.
Miftahani.
Yeah. Miftahani means 2 keys.
2 keys, Miftahani. Okay.
And the next one, let's ask Miss Anissa to read for us.
All right. لمن هاتان البقرتان هما للفلاح.
Now, liman means belongs to who or whose. هاتان. Remember هذا and هذه for one person. If dual, هذان for masculine. For feminine, هاتان. Got it? So if you want to write it down, so هذان for masculine, هاتان for feminine. لمن هاتان البقرتان. بقرتان is the dual of بقرة, cow. So whose these 2 cows? Whose are these 2 cows? I'm in trouble, everybody. هما للفلاح. هما للفلاح. They both belong to الفلاح. ما معنى الفلاح؟ Farmer. نعم. ممتاز. Next one, the longest one is for Mr. Matthias. I know that it's not fair, Mr. Matthias. My apologies.
Actually, so I just have a question for the
Yes.
previous sentence. Why does it say Huma and not and why doesn't it say Hatani again? Why does it say Huma? Yeah, when they both belong to the farm. Yeah.
Sorry, if I got your question correctly, you are asking about Huma and Hatani, correct?
Yes. Why is it Huma Liu Falahi and not Hatani Liu Falahi?
Definitely, you have a very good point there. Just like you see, for example, Hatani, like هذا or هذه. So we say, لمن هذا القلم? Whose pen is this? So you can you can feel free to say هذا القلم لعلي, for example, or you can say هو لعلي. You get what I mean? Either you can use اسم إشارة هذا القلم لعلي, this pen belongs to Ali, or you can simply reduce everything and use ضمير منفصل like هو, because قلم is masculine. هو للمعلم or لعلي. Instead of saying هذا القلم لعلي, you can just reduce it in one word. So this is the question. لمن هاتان البقرتان? You could answer هاتان البقرتان للفلاح, which is long and there is a repetition, right? So to avoid the repetition, the author of the book decided to use huma, just they, both of them.
Okay,
So when
so
huma, the listener already heard the question, and therefore the answer is clear. Huma, they, both of them.
okay, so Huma is for two people also, or
Yeah, huma, here for the question, talking about the two cows. So huwa, and here are actually for human and for things as well. So for example, yeah, so you can say huwa aina Luki, for example. Huwa naimun. Mr. Luki is not with us, so let's guess that he is sleeping, right? Huwa naimun. Or you can say Mr. Luki is naimun. Mr. Luki, Sayyidu Luki, naimun. If you do not want to use a pronoun. If I want to say liman هذا الكتاب, الكتاب, we will use huwa as well. So huwa is for عاقل, for human, and for غير عاقل, like things. So for example, أين بيتك? When I ask you أين بيتك, so the answer will be هو في بيتك. You get what I mean? So هو can be for human and can be for non-human.
okay.
Is that your question?
Yeah, I will.
It's not because
Actually, Mr. Matthias, if you translate the sentence, right, it will sound like this, It will sound like whose are these two cows? Then they are like who was like they are, then but essentially it means these two are, but essentially they are belonging to the farmer. Okay.
Okay. Thanks. Okay.
That was your
I
question.
think I got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you, Miss Anisa, for clarifying. Appreciate that. So the next one will be the longest so far. Let's give it to Mr. Isaac.
Hey, it was
Oh
supposed
wait,
to be Matthias.
I thought I was going to read.
I was going to read.
Yeah,
I
he
can
was
read.
supposed to read it and then he asked question. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. sorry. Sorry. My apologies, Mr. Isaac. My apologies. Maaf there and what.
You're always forgiven.
Thank you so much, Mr. Isaac. Thank you. تفضل Mr. Matthias.
أخذني طبيبا من من إنجلترا لا هما من فرنسا.
Very good. ما معنى هذه الجملة Mr. Matthias?
Are these two students male from England? No, they are from France.
Very close, but الطبيب is the doctor.
Oh, Tabibu. Are these two doctors from
It's always confusing, don't worry. أهذان الطبيبان the question is about these two doctors from England. The answer was لا هما. If I want to replace هما, what do I need to say, Mr. Matthias?
هذان الطبيبان من فرنسا. The full face.
No, they are from France. So فرنسا or فرنسا. So in Morocco we say فرنسا with fatha. In Algeria they say فرنسا.
Dia kau tengok Ibn Taymiyah.
But the
Isa
common
Wahabi.
one is فرنسا.
Susah.
France, which is France. Who traveled to France before? My wife is raising the hand as well as Mr. Isaac.
I did in my dream.
I know.
Yeah, you are. Mr. Isaac. Okay, so let's move to the next one.
We went up the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, such a bad experience, everybody, you know. It was freezing. Trust me, it was freezing one morning.
No, it's your fault you didn't put on enough clothing.
And then I was happily going there with a t-shirt. And
I went up the Eiffel Tower.
And the Eiffel Tower, all the wind is coming down. So I couldn't go all the way up. I told them, I'm sorry, it's just the first level, and if you want to go up, go ahead. So,
but strangely, I'm not so sure. You know what happened? Yeah, brothers and sisters. The fact is that over there, they make an announcement really publicly that there are pickpocketers, right?
even here in Singapore, in Orchard.
No, this one
In
is
Orchard, they say no.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
They say please,
beware of your.
that the station is crowded. Please,
No, but
watch your belongings.
this one is a
In the same in Eiffel Tower. Eiffel Tower, please wash your belongings.
Yes.
Oh, it's good actually that they mentioned this. Otherwise for tourists they will not they will think that everything is peaceful, and then all of a sudden no wallets, no phone. Yeah. And the next one will be for Miss Anissa, if you don't mind, Miss Anissa.
في قريتي مسجدان صغيران.
في قريتي, in my kampong, in my village. مسجدان, two mosques. How are these two mosques? صغيران, two small mosques. Now, any questions so far about dual? I think all is under control, am I right? As you can see, I don't really focus a lot on grammar rules, so that because we want to talk first, and then from there we can, yeah. So let's read الأمثلة. الأمثلة is the plural of مثال, which is example. اقرأي الأمثلة الآتية ثم ضع في الفراغ فيما يلي تمييزا لكم. So كم as we I briefly actually explained a little bit about كم. كم is اسم استفهام. When you ask using كم, means how much or how many, right? So it's للعدد. And then this كم always it's always followed by a noun. This noun is mansoob. We call it tamyiz. Inshallah, I will explain to you the types of tamyiz, and that for example, when you say كم كتابا عندك, how many books you have. In English, you say how many books, but in Arabic, you say how many book. كم كتابا must be singular, and must be mansub with fatha. So let's practice. Maybe Mr. Isaac, give us an example, please.
Kam baitan عندك.
Mumtaz, Mr. Isaac. So confident. I'm so proud of you.
I know, right?
كم بيتا عندك? The answer is very easy, Mr. Isaac. In Singapore, the maximum that you can have is just one house.
One HDB house. Then you can have many private house if you can afford. But you can only have one HDB
Many, not
house.
many. I think just one.
No,
Or maybe, I'm not
you
sure.
can, you can. You can actually own condominiums, landed properties, but you can only have one HDB
Just
house.
like Mr. Matthias.
Mr. Matthias got a lot of houses, monopoly houses.
Yeah. So كم بيتا عندك Mr. Matthias?
واحد. واحد.
How to say I have one house.
عندي بيت.
One.
عندي بيت.
Yeah. بيت واحد. Very good.
بيت واحد.
Yeah. Which means بيت واحد عندي. Right? One house I have. If you want to explain it, it translates one word by one word. So عندي بيت واحد. Mr. Isaac has two houses, everybody. How to say, Mr. Isaac, I have two houses?
Indie by. Oh, okay. This one is.
So for Dul, Mr. Isaac, just remove tanween, add alif and nun for marfu'.
So by
Tun becomes
by thani.
Yes, tasfiq everyone.
Oh.
You need also to clap, Mr. Isaac.
Oh.
So عندي بيتان, and we were talking about عندي and li. So li, there are a lot of opinions, by the way, between scholars. So li is used للعاقل. لي أخ, لي أخت, لي أب, لي أم, and so on. You don't own those, right? However, when you say I have a pen, you will not say لي قلم, لي كتاب. You say عندي قلم, عندي كتاب, عندي سيارة, عندي بيتان, right? عندي كلبان. كلبان means two dogs. لي قطان, and so on. Am I right? Do we say لي قطان and لي كلبان? See, I tricked you, huh? So we say عندي كلبان, عندي قطان, right? لي أخوان. So for أخ, when it turns into dual, we need to add the waw because it's part of the five nouns. Remember the five nouns? أب, أخ, فو, ذو, حم. So when it comes to أخ and أب, you will need to add the waw, the long vowel. So لي أخوان, لي أبوان, which is not logic, right? I have two fathers, right? So لي أخوان, لي أختان, لي أماني, I have two mothers. Yeah. So just an example.
Lillahi?
Sorry, is it?
Lillahi?
Lillahi means what, brother? Meaning for God, for Allah.
Yes, yes. No? Lillahi ta'ala?
لله يا لله تعالى. So it's جار ومجرور. لي is حرف جر and الله لفظ الجلالة مخفوض على التعظيم. Yeah. So لي means I have. How to say you have?
But in the sense, I, Li is not belong to. It belongs to, right? Li is
I have.
belongs to.
I have.
I have.
Yeah. Li actually is lam and ya. Not only li. Like lillahi.
Ah,
Alhamdulillah.
so there is different.
So li, which is this harf jar itself, plus the ya for myself. If you have,
Yes, yes, yes.
laka will be with fatha. If he has, lahu. So let's talk about Mr. Mahmoud. He has a car. How to say he has a car?
Laka sarir.
لا, laka is for you.
He is lahu.
نعم.
له سيارة.
سيارة. Not سرير, Mr. Isaac.
Yes, right, yeah.
You are sleepy, that's why you are thinking of
Sleepy.
right. Okay, so كم أختا لك. So as you can see here, أختا is used, we use لك, correct? كم قلما عندك, because we say عندي قلم, right? And then كم سيارة في الجامعة at the university. You got, sorry, Afwan, you got the gist of it? When you talk about family members, I have brother, I have sister, you use the lam and ya. Li akhun, I have a brother. How many brothers you have? I have just one brother. And therefore you say li akhun wahidun. Correct? For two, li akhawani. Li akhawani. أخواني ماذا؟ اثنان. لي أخواني اثنان. Got it? So let's try. For قلم we have عندك. And here we have كم, asking about something, and عندك. Try to find an example.
I try, Mr. Muhammad.
Say.
Okay. كم ساعة عندك؟
نعم. كم ساعة عندك? So how to answer this question, Mr. Isaac and Mr. Matthias?
Li.
No. ساعة. ساعة is not like a brother. So you don't use li, use عندي.
Oh, yes. Okay. Sa'atan is watch, right?
Yeah. So how to say I have two watches?
عندي ساعتان.
Ni. ساعتان. Yes.
ساعتان.
Always with kasra in your book. ساعتان. How to say he has two watches?
Indahu.
عنده. Very good. عنده ساعتان. Right? Now we have here some questions. كم and عندك. What could be the question here? Yes. Miss Anissa, you want to try? Number one?
Okay.
Try again. I know you already tried. Try again.
Try again. All right. Maybe.
Isaac.
Uh,
Isaac.
كم سيارة عندك.
نعم. كم سيارة عندك? So, Mr. Isaac, you want to answer this question?
عندي سيارة واحدة.
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 Because it's feminine. So, عندي سيارة واحدة. If I ask you,
سيارة واحدة.
yeah. If I ask you, Mr. Matthias, كم قلما عندك? How many pens you have? And you want to say, I have one pen. ماذا؟
عندي قلم واحد.
واحدة.
واحد.
نعم. How to say I have two pens?
عندي قلمان.
قلمان. Yes. لا ممتاز. Mr. Matthias, you need also to upload. السؤال الثاني كم and لك. Remember, عندك and لك. Miss Anissa, you want to try?
Me again? Okay.
Sorry, Miss Anissa, sorry.
It's okay, it's okay. كم تن لك؟
كم أختا you said.
أختا.
نعم.
Yes.
كم أختا لك? How many sisters you have? So let's, Mr. Isaac, answer this question. In the real life of yours, Mr. Isaac, كم أختا لك?
أختان.
And is that true, or you just wanted to apply the
Yeah, just apply the rule.
Okay. So, yeah. So do you say عندي أختان or لي أختان؟
لي أختان.
لي أختان. ممتاز. السؤال الثالث, because it's long, let's give it to Mr. Matthias. تفضل Mr. Matthias.
كم درجة في هذا الشهر؟
لا. في is حرف جر. Even though it's distracted by هذا after في, الشارع is اسم مجرور.
Okay, let me repeat that again. كم درجة في هذا الشهر؟
ممتاز. So what was Mr. Matthias' question? How many bicycles are in this street? Who would like to answer? I'm afraid to ask Miss Annie to answer. Me again.
Okay, answer. Okay. كم درجة في هذا الشارع؟ فيه واحدة.
No, Miss Anissa. When you are talking about one and two, always come up with al-ma'dud.
Oh, with the number.
Yeah. No, with what you are counting first, then the number.
So فيه درجة درجة واحدة.
فيه
دراجة واحدة.
السلام عليكم أستاذ ستار. How are you?
وعليكم
وعليكم
السلام
السلام ورحمة الله. الحمد لله.
Are you outside?
No,
I just reached home. I was just finished my earlier course.
So I quickly log in. Sorry,
Okay.
so sorry.
Sorry, I'm late.
You started with that course already?
Yes,
Started today. Yeah.
How was it?
Extremely boring.
Yeah.
Extremely boring.
Really, truly. I only learned one thing throughout the whole course.
The word
The word exegesis means tafsir.
That's it.
That's it.
In which language is this?
It's in
It's in
English,
English,
but
but
it's
it's
actually
actually
a
a
tafsir.
tafsir.
I mean,
I mean,
it's a
it's a
requisite to
requisite to
become an
become an
ustaz,
ustaz,
so
so
they
they
have
have
this
this
course.
course.
So it's
So
called
it's
the
called the
tafsir of the
tafsir of the
Quran. So
Quran.
it's,
So
he said
he
the
said the
exegesis of the
exegesis of the
Quran.
Quran.
So then
So
he
then
spent
he
the
spent the
entire
entire
session
session
teaching it.
teaching it.
He's a
He's
guy
a
about
guy about
my
my
son's
son's
age.
age.
So
So
mashallah.
mashallah.
But anyway,
But
okay, I
anyway,
have to
okay, I
go
have
through
to
the
go through
course.
the course.
It's, I'm sort of
I'm sort
rushing
of
to
rushing
finish
to
it so I
finish it
can
so I
come
could
for
come
this
for
course.
this
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the best, Mr. So I'm happy to see you. And we were talking about your class yesterday. So we were talking about how steep it was in the beginning.
I said the same thing like what you just said about your class.
Yeah, Mr. Isaac said that yesterday's class was boring. Is that true, Mr. Sister?
I think at
I
the
think at the
starting,
starting,
all
all
of
of
us
us
are
are
very
very
stiff and
stiff and
very
very
uncomfortable
uncomfortable
because we
because we
hardly got
hardly
to
got
know
to
each
know each
other.
other.
But I think
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
That
crazy
crazy
character who
character who
started to
started to
answer
answer
everything and he
everything and
started to
started to
shout out
shout
all
out
the
all the
answers one
answers
after
one
the
after
other.
the
La
other.
la,
Allah,
Ustaz,
Ustaz,
Hazam
Hazam
Masjid, and all
Masjid,
that.
and
I
all
think
that.
he
I think
broke
he
the
broke the
ice.
ice.
Betul tak?
When he broke the
Broke
ice,
the
I think
ice, I
things
think
became
things became
better, and then
better,
for
and
the
then for the
game, the Kahoot game,
game,
things
things
lightened up a
lightened up
He
a
lot.
was
lot.
the best. He was the best.
Yeah,
That
Yeah,
guy.
so
so
I think
I think
we,
we,
as I
as I
mentioned earlier
mentioned
in
earlier
my
in my
voice note
voice
to you,
note
I
to you,
think
I
that
think that
we spoke
we
to
spoke
many
to
of the
many of the
students,
students,
and the
and the
general
general
consensus,
consensus,
99% was
99% was
everybody
everybody
wants to
wants
come
to
back
come
for the
back for the
course. They are
course. They are
very keen
very
to
keen
stay
to stay
on,
on,
but
but
they are
they are
asking
asking
only for
only
the
for
fact
the
that you
fact
do
that
the
you do
same
the same
method as
method
this
as
and
this, and
everything,
everything,
because they were
because they
lost
were
at the
lost at
part
the
when you
part
were
when you were
talking
talking
about
about
the
the
iqlab
club
and
and
Other
idgham.
one was
That
that
portion they
portion
got
they got
completely
completely
lost, so they
lost, so they
messaged me and
messaged
said
me
we
and
don't
said we don't
understand all
understand
these
all
things.
these
So
things. So
I told them
I
put
told
that
them put that
aside.
aside.
I think that's not
It's not
relevant. We
relevant.
just
We
focus
just
on the
focus on the
haza
haza
and things
and
like
things
that.
like that.
actually, I was kind of shy actually to to explain to them the ikhfa and all. That's why I said if you can carry on, Mr.
Yeah, I will do
I
it
will
on
do it on
Friday.
Friday.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Friday I will
Friday I
start
will
from the
start from the
very
very
basics
basic
because, like I
because, like I
mentioned,
mentioned,
in the Malay
in the Malay
community we
community
don't
we
use
don't use
fathah
fatah
and
and
dhamma and
dhamma and
kasrah.
kasrah.
So
So
even that
even that
issue came
issue
up. A
came
lot
up.
of
A
them
lot of
telling
them
me they
telling me they
couldn't
couldn't
follow. I said
follow. I
no
said no
problem, don't
problem,
worry.
don't
It's a
worry.
very
It's a very
straightforward thing.
straightforward thing.
We'll go
We'll
through
go
on
through on
Friday or
Friday or
Saturday
Saturday
actually.
actually.
Saturday.
Saturday.
I'll go
I'll
through
go
from the
through from the
very
very
basics. What
basics.
is the
What is the
kasrah
kasrah
and how I
and how I
remember
remember
it.
it.
Kasrah
Kasrah
being,
being
like my
like my
kaki,
kaki,
which is
which
my
is my
foot, which
foot,
is
which is
below, so
below, so
it's
it's
down,
down,
things like
things
that.
like that.
So no
So no
worries,
worries,
Friday. I will
Saidi.
go
I will
through
go through
all the
all the
basic
basic
stuff with
stuff with
them, the
them, the
Hamza and the
Hamza and the
Alif and
Alif
things
and
like
things
that.
like that.
So
So
things will be
things will
okay.
be okay.
Yeah, no
No
worries.
worries.
They're very
They're
happy
very happy
to stay
to
on for
stay
the
on for the
course.
course.
Thank you so much. Oh yes, and then I mean thank you so much actually for because in the beginning I didn't know if I can ask them questions or they can unmute themselves. So I didn't know if this is possible. And my way, you know, my way is an interactive actually. I like actually to ask questions. I like to be asked as well. So that's I do not like actually to keep talking nonstop. I would be very boring because
I agree.
I agree.
I agree. In
Yeah.
fact,
In fact,
that's what
that's what
happened in the
happened in the
last
last
tafsir
tafsir
class
class
I
I
just
just
sat
sat
through,
through
the
the
SCQT
SCQT
class.
class.
The
The
Ustad
Ustad
spoke for the
spoke for the
entire
entire
3
three
hours.
hours.
Yeah,
He
might
didn't
as well
ask
He
a
didn't ask a
single
single
question.
question.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
didn't.
he didn't.
No, I have
No,
to
I
show
have to
my
show
face.
my
That's the
face. That's the
problem.
problem.
I have to
I
put
have to
my
put
phone.
my phone.
Otherwise, maybe
Otherwise,
I'll
maybe
try
I'll
to
try
make
to
a
make a
photograph of
photograph of
myself
myself
looking like
like
this,
this.
and then
Yeah.
looks like
Looks
I'm
like
not
I'm not
moving
moving
focus
focus
on his
on his
lesson like
lesson
that.
like that.
So,
So put a video, so you just
exactly.
exactly.
And
True.
like doing
Every
the la
time
ilaha
the la ilaha
illallah thing
illallah
like
thing
side to
like that
side.
to side.
So he
So he
didn't ask a
didn't ask a
single
single
question.
question.
He didn't
He didn't
interact at
interact at
all.
all.
So he's a
So
young
he's a
boy.
young
I
boy.
think
I
he's
think
like
he's
I
like
said,
I
my
said my
son's age.
son's age.
So
So
he tried
he
his
tried
best,
his
of
best,
course.
of course.
No
No
disrespect, man. But
disrespect,
I
man.
think
But I
that
think that
method of
method of
just
just
lecturing
lecturing
continuously,
continuously,
and
and
everybody who's
everybody who's
attending looks
attending
like
looks like
close to my
close to my
age,
age,
40,
40,
50 years
50
old
years old
people
people
looking to
looking to
become
become
ustaz,
ustaz,
or
or
ustazah.
ustazah.
So I think
So I think
he should have
he should have
interacted. I think
interacted.
your
I think your
interaction
interaction
style,
style,
Saidi, is
Saidi, is
actually
actually
very
very
contagious. So
contagious. So
let's do
let's
that
do
for the
that for
next
the next
session.
session.
You
You
feel free
feel
to
free
Okay,
to
chit chat
I
with
will.
with
them,
them,
and I will
and
ask
I will
them all
ask
to
them all
feel
to
free
feel
to
free
chit
to
chat
chit
with
chat
you,
with
and
you,
you
and
just
you
do
just
the
do
you do your, as they say in the words of Chris, you do your thing, that kind of thing. That's fine, Yeah, you don't have to worry about the formalities so much. I think that's the best idea, inshallah.
And do you know the gentleman who started answering? I really love him. He's the one who blew up everything. Someone, Mr. Matthias and Miss Anissa, when I started saying ما هذا, he said هذا كتاب, and he was very loud. And then he said, Ustad, betul tak? Meaning, is it correct or not? And then I said, and then after that, he was speaking in Malay, in English. Luckily, I know the few words like betul, and so. And then,
can I just give one suggestion for this class to actually have a video on? Otherwise, then even who I mean, when you actually talk to someone and there's no video, I mean, you don't see their face. It's also a bit awkward, right? I mean, for you, Mr. Mohammed.
Oh,
I,
I was blurred because I didn't see the
I
person.
think what your setting is, you only see those on video. Those without video, you can't see it.
I don't know actually.
There is a setting for Zoom like that. You only show those that on video. Those who doesn't on, you won't be able to see.
I think it's
So
a
there's
very
a
good
lot.
suggestion. Yeah, I will.
Yeah, there's a lot, including myself also. I off my video.
Mm.
So then I see it was like a kind of like yeah. That's why I say it's boring because you at least when people don't talk, you can see their expression through the video.
Yeah.
You can still tell whether they are interested or whether they're yawning or
Yeah.
whatever it is, you know.
True.
So that's why I was thinking, maybe you can actually suggest to on the video for those lessons.
Inshallah, inshallah. In fact, we did send out a message to everyone to switch on the videos, but then the ladies wrote in saying that they felt shy. Then we said, okay, if you're a lady and you don't want to switch on, we give you, I mean, like some keringanan, lah, But I saw actually when I scrolled through, I think more than half had their videos off, including a lot of shy men. So
Yeah,
I don't think why are they shy? So this time around, I think we will insist on them having their videos on. I think it's more polite and more interactive. Yeah, I fully agree with you, Azek. Really, that's correct. Yeah.
Mr. Isaac has always good ideas, Mr. Star. He's so powerful. So, Mr. Matthias, join us. But you will have the class or what?
Okay, because starting from next Sunday, I'm going to have 6 hours of Japanese in the day, so I might be quite tired in the evening. Yeah.
So there's ne.
Hi.
All the best. Miss Anissa,
Thanks, man.
please, okay? Join us into this class. It's too basic for you, but it's a good support.
Oh, I see. I can't promise because my husband was wondering who's always on Zoom. I don't want to ask that question.
So at least you can tell your husband, why always on Zoom? At least I'm still at home. If I go out, you cannot see me. Then you ask me why I always go out.
True.
But inshallah, I will try to sign on once in a while.
Inshallah, I think more important is the Saturday class we are having also to support the Sunday class. So that one is actually, if you all can help out, it will be very good because it's going to be one in which we go through the homework and also go through stuff that is not, Mudaris will not have time to go through. Like for example,
Which day?
We intend to meet on Saturdays.
What time?
Around
7:45, 8 o'clock.
Saturday you will become a mini mentor.
A mini mentor, correct. So we can discuss with them things like what is majrur, what is kasra, what is dhamma, what is genitive sentence, what is like a verbal sentence, what is a nominal sentence, things that maybe Mudaris may not have time to speak in detail. We take the extra session to build some basic foundations for them. So they can
The Malay
understand.
community, Mr. Muhammad, when they first taught how to actually read the alphabets of the Arabic, the Fatah, we consider it as on top. Yeah, and the Kasra is below. So it's a foreign word when we first heard Fatah, Kasra, and Dhamma. That is the kind of thing that I think Mr. Abu Satta is trying to actually explain to Malay communities, especially Malaysian.
And they also come some from Spain and America who are very new to the language as well. So they message me saying that I have totally no background. But we send them some videos on Alif Bata and things like that. So that's why they were totally not able to follow the Kasra part, Kasra Pata Dhamma. But as I said, because we are only at lesson 1, so no worries. They're coming back with me on Saturday. Then we'll just go through from the very basics, make sure everyone is very comfortable. Yeah.
So much, Mr. Sista. If you can also go through with them with you see the in LQ the explanation for some of the grammar, just the basic ones. I think there will be explanation of ism, fi'l, and harf, and how we know that this is ism, how we know this is harf, we know this is fi'l. This will help them as well, so they can boost the class. And we have Mr. Mahmoud just joining. Just finished work. He's so inshallah, and I will do my way actually in teaching Mr. Star, if you don't mind, because I don't feel good actually changing myself into someone
No,
else.
I'm sorry. I thought, Mr. Abu Sata, the requirement for this is that they really should know how to actually read.
True,
Very
yeah.
true. Yeah,
We
we
made it
made it
very
very.
clear. Then
Then
I
I
sent
sent
out
out
some
some
videos
videos
to
to
guide
guide
them
them
to
to
do
do
their
their
alif
alif
bata on
bata
their
on their
own.
own.
Because if they don't know how
Yeah.
to read, then it's very difficult
Very
for them to
difficult.
reach
Yeah.
out, you know.
True.
True.
That's
That's
why
why
I
I
didn't
didn't
encourage many
encourage
of them
many
who
of
has
them
no
who has no
background to
background
join,
to
but
join,
some
but
still
some
wanted
still
to
wanted
come.
to come.
So
So
I
I
said,
said,
okay,
okay,
you
you
just
just
join
join
in,
in,
and
and
we'll try to
try
do
to do
some some catch up on
the
the
Saturday
Saturday
classes
classes,
because
because
it's
it's
not
not
going
going
to
to
be
be
totally
totally
basic
basic on
on
Saturday
Saturday
classes, like
classes,
what
like what
Mudaris is
Mudaris
saying.
is saying.
I'm actually
I'm
going to
actually going
start
to
to
start to
introduce to
introduce
them
to
the
them
fact, the
the
concept
concept
of
of
pairs
pairs
in the
in the
studying of,
studying of
looking
looking
like
like
for
for
how two
how two
words
words
affect each
affect
other.
each
I
other.
think
I
that's
think
very
that's very
important. How
important.
the
How the
noun
noun
changes
changes
from
from
marfu to
marfu to
mansub,
mansub,
and marfu to
marfu to
majrur
majrur
by the
by
word
the
that
word
is
that is
before that.
before that.
So that
So that
concept, so
concept,
that
so
they will
that they will
begin to
begin to
understand that in
understand that in
Arabic you
Arabic
must
you must
open your
open your
eyes,
eyes.
you have to
You
look
have to
for
look
the
for the
pairs, and we
pairs, and
won't
we
go
won't
through
go
the
through the
details, of
details,
course,
of
but
course,
for
but
them to
for them to
understand
understand
that the
that the
whole
whole
study from
study from
myself, at
myself,
least in
at
the
least in the
first
first
5 months
5
now,
months now,
is
is
based on the
based on
fact
the
that
fact that
every
every
noun
noun
is
is
identified by the
identified by the
tanwin,
tanwin,
dhammatain at the
dhammatain at
end,
the end,
and what
and what
factors
factors
cause this
cause
to
this to
change to a
change to a
mansub
mansub
and
and
change to a
change to a
majroor
majrur
is actually
is
the
actually the
cornerstone of the
cornerstone of the
understanding of the
understanding of the
grammar.
grammar.
So I'm
So
trying
I'm
to
trying
lay
to
this
lay this
foundation
foundation
that I
that I
struggled through
struggled
in the
through in the
past
past
4 months
4
by
months by
myself,
myself,
using
using
all these
all these
videos and
videos
things
and
like
things
that.
like that.
So I'm
So
trying
I'm
to
trying
then
to then
save them
save
the
them the
trouble from
trouble
going
from
through
going through
20,
20,
30
30
videos and
videos and
then
then
different
different
books.
books.
Just give
Just
them
give them
in that
in
one
that 1
hour.
hour.
Okay, look,
Okay,
this
look,
is
this
the
is the
sign of a
sign of a
noun,
noun,
and this is
and
the
this is the
focus.
focus.
Now you
Now
can
you
look
can
at the
look at the
case
case
endings,
endings,
and the
and
name
the
of the
name of
case
the case
endings. In
endings.
this
In this
case is
case is
marfu,
marfu,
and
and
what
then
is
what is
mansub,
mansub,
what is
what is
majrur,
majrur,
and what
and what
causes it to
causes it to
change.
change.
So every
So
time we
every time
come
we come
across a
across a
lesson, and
lesson,
when
when
Modaris
Mudaris
finishes,
finishes,
the
the
Saturday lesson
Saturday
I will
lesson I
go
will
through
go
and
through
tell
and
them,
tell
look
them,
now,
look now,
this
this
changed.
changed.
Now we are
Now
doing
we are
this
doing this
come,
come.
the next
The
one
next one
becomes
becomes
mansub, right?
mansub, right?
That kind of
That
thing.
kind of
So
thing. So
the
the
reasons they
reasons they
change.
change.
So I intend
So
to
I
lay
intend to
some
lay some
foundations down
foundations
also
down
from
also from an
early
early
and trying
stage
to
and trying
follow
to
Brother
follow Brother
Asif,
Asif
because I
because
thought
I
his
thought his
style was
style was
really
really
amazing.
amazing,
Really,
really,
mashallah.
mashallah.
He got
He got
somebody
somebody
like
like
me
me
who
who
was
was
so
so
blur
blur
to
to
understand
understand
something,
something,
mashallah.
mashallah.
Yeah.
I think I need to listen to him as well, so that we can actually get from him the ideas, and then
Speak the same
from
language.
yeah, we speak the same language, so we are all on the same page, maybe, inshallah. Yeah, I think. But the problem, where is the time? That's my issue actually.
True.
True.
Saidi, I think
Saidi,
you
I think you
continue, your
continue. Your
style is
style is
perfect.
perfect.
What we
What we
studied from
studied
you,
from you,
we have
we have
followed you
followed
from
you
now
from
from
now from
chapter
chapter
1 to
1
I
to
think
I think
18.
18.
It's
It's
perfect. Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
So let
So
me
let
do
me do
the
the
Brother
Brother
Asif one,
Asif one,
and I'll
and
go
I'll
through.
go through.
I
Actually,
wrote
I
out
wrote
all
out all
his
his
lessons, the
lessons, the
first
first
60
60
videos already.
videos
I wrote
already. I wrote
everything out
everything
word
out
for
word
word,
for word,
literally.
literally.
But I
But
haven't
I
typed
haven't
like I
typed like I
cannot type
cannot
like
type
Sister
like Sister
Anisa. She
Anisa.
types
She
very
types
well.
very well.
If I were to
If I were
type
to
this,
type
then you
this,
have
then
to
you have
wait
to wait
until I'm
until I'm
60,
60,
60 or
60 or
70 years
70
old.
years old.
So what
So
I'll
what
do
I
is
will
that
do is
I'll
that I will
summarize
summarize
those
those
lessons
lessons
from
from
Brother
Brother
Asif,
Asif,
and then do
and
that
do
on a
that on a
Saturday
Saturday
section. So you
section.
will
So you will
see
see
your
your
students coming
students
back
coming
every
back every
Sunday
Sunday
with
with a
a deeper and
deeper and
deeper
deeper
foundation
foundation
That's
on the
good.
on the
basics. So you
basics.
don't
So
have
you
to
don't have
waste
to
time
waste
on
time
that.
on
You
that.
just
You just
continue
continue
to
to
bulldoze your way
bulldoze your
through
way
the
through the
lessons of
lessons of
Madina
Madina
all the
all
way,
the way,
and let me
and let
do
me do
the
the
background work,
background work,
of preparing the
preparing the
students for the
students for the
future
future
lessons.
lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brother Asif
Brother
has
Asif
this
has this
method of
method of
teaching, which I
teaching which I
really love,
really love.
is that
Is
even
that
though we
even
are
though
in
we are in
chapter
chapter
2,
2,
he will
he will
actually give you
actually
a
give you a
sneak
sneak
preview of what
preview
is
of
in
what is in
chapter
chapter
5,
5,
which is
Yeah.
related to
related to
chapter
chapter
2,
2,
but he
but he
doesn't tell you
doesn't tell you
all the
all the
names names and make you like, he used the word, I think, gabradum or something like that. He used that word. Don't be gabrification, he said, Don't be gabrified, he will say. You will hear this from me again and again in the coming lessons, so don't worry. So you feel very assured that it's okay. I caught 10% of what he said, but anyway, I'm going to catch more of it later on. So you always feel that I'm okay, So he always gives you a sneak preview, akan datang thing, And that I think was very nice because when we finally reached that chapter, we were prepared for it already. Yeah, mashallah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Star. And let's welcome Mr. Mahmoud. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Mahmoud.
Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Mahmoud.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sorry.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Sorry for being late. Just finished work, Sangre.
No problem. So we are now in التمرين الثالث. We are going to read the examples. كم أختا لك. So as I mentioned earlier, لي أخت, لي بنت, لي. When we talk about عاقل or family members, we use لي. When we talk about things like car, like house, like قلم, we use عندي. And there is a third one, which is لدي. لدي is used when you have something in hand. This لدي, there is one exception only. When you don't have something in hand, is the money. When you have the money at the bank, you can still say لدي. لدي مال كثير. I have a lot of money. May Allah give us a lot of money and a lot of رزق. آمين إن شاء الله. A lot of بركة في العمر وفي المال وفي العلم. So لي أخ عندي قلم لدي مال. Right? So here I have عندك. And this question, I think, Miss Anissa, you answered this one. Am I right? عندك. What was your question, Miss Anissa? Come.
Actually, I forgot what I asked you. I forgot.
First is sa'atun.
Baitan, I think.
First is
First
sa'atun.
was Saatun. The other one is
Sa'atan, yeah.
Sayaratun, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yes.
So when you see this often, قلما سيارة, when you ask a question, come is two types. One is this come الاستفهامية. We call it come استفهامية. We use it to ask about a specific thing. So because it's specific, the thing that you are asking, we call it tamyiz. I will go through with you on the types of tamyiz, and the tamyiz needs here to be mansub with fatha. كم بيتا عندك؟ كم أخا لك؟ كم كتابا قرأت؟ كم كتاب قرأت? You see, there are two كم. If you say كم كتابا قرأت, how many books you have read? كم كتاب قرأت? This is not a question. This is للتعجب. للتعجب means, wow, how many books you have read? So this is تكثيرية. We call it تكثيرية. Means that you are saying, wow, so many books you have read. So we call it تكثيرية تعجبية. And they have different names, خبرية إلى آخره. So كم كتاب when you are surprised and when you are amazed by something in front of you. The other one that we are studying is كم الاستفهامية. Remember the word استفهام? استفهام استفهم. You see, in Malay there is the word faham, fahima. Whenever you have in Arabic ista, means to look for, to request for, in most of the cases. So استسقى وإذ استسقى موسى لقومه. إذ استسقى means when Moses عليه السلام asked for suqya, for water, because they wanted when they were crossing actually the Sahara Sinai, they needed water, and Musa عليه السلام استسقى لقومه means asked God for water. فقلنا اضرب بعصاك الحجر, and we said اضرب بعصاك الحجر mean just beats the rock. فانبجست in one of the ayah, فانبجست, like the water suddenly splashed. فانبجست or فانفجرت in another ayah. فانفجرت منه 12 عينا. Why 12 source of water? Did you ask yourself why?
The tribes of Bani Israel.
Yes, because Yusuf alayhi salam, how many brothers he had? 11, right? So they are together 12, and they were actually tribes of Bani Israel. so that no one will say, oh no, that they will not start actually arguing on who will get the share and so on. So istasqa means ask for, suqya for water. Istaghna, someone who doesn't really look into the money of others, into all those material things. So that is istighna. Istighna عن الناس. Istighna means that he can depend on himself. He doesn't need others or their money in order for him to survive. So istaghna. Istaghfara means ask for maghfira, for forgiveness, right? So if the person is istaghfara, the verb to forgive is ghafara. So you see, istaghfara, it's added. So istafhama means to ask for understanding, to seek the understanding. So istifham means when you ask a question. That is the word. So we say kam ismu istifhamin. Ismu istifham. And as I mentioned earlier, all the tools that we use for istifham are nouns. So please take note of this. All the tools that we use, like mata, aina, kam, all of them are nouns, with the exception of two. The exception, the first one is hal, which is a particle, harf istifham, not ism istifham. The second one is al-hamza. أهذا كتابه. So this hamza is harf. And all كل أسماء الاستفهام, all أسماء الاستفهام are actually معربة. ما معنى معربة؟ ما apologies. All أسماء الاستفهام are مبنية. Remember, مبني, built. We don't change. When we say كم, we don't change it to kamu or kami and so on, with the exception of one, which is very known to you in Surah Ar-Rahman. What do you have? One of the ayat which is repeated all the times. Fabi ayyi. So this ayyu is mu'arab. Fabi ayyi ala'i rabbikuma tukadhiban. Okay, so this is about adawatul istifham. We will talk about this in details in the future. I just don't want to flood you with grammar rules currently, because the focus is for us to speak Arabic as much as we can, to create sentences, and from there we will try actually to break this uqda, the uqda in our tongues. واحلل عقدة من لساني, right? يفقه قولي. So كم بيتا عندك. Mr. Matthias, I think, said عندي بيت واحد. So whenever you mention one, put it after what you are talking about. عندي قلم واحد. عندي كتاب واحد. We do not say عندي واحد كتاب. And the same thing goes for two. عندي كتابان. كتاب is masculine or feminine? Masculine. And therefore the number two will be masculine. So you say عندي كتابان اثنان. Right? عندي سيارتان. Can I say اثنان? Then is for masculine, and therefore I need to add ta after noon. اثنتان. عندي سيارتان اثنتان. We can always skip اثنان and اثنتان, because just by mentioning سيارتان, the listener automatically knows that you are talking about dual. And dual is something special in some of the languages. I think few languages only. One of them is Arabic. So as you can see, English doesn't have dual, am I right? More than one is plural straight away. But Arabic, there is dual, which is مثنى, المثنى. So we say كم, say ساعة. Can I use here ساعة لك? لا. Because I have here لك. لك? Maybe you can ask about brother, sister. كم أخا لك. So how to say I have two brothers? لي أخ واحد, for one. What about two? لي
أختان.
أخواني.
أخواني.
The waw here is required because the word أخ is among the 5 nouns. Remember the 5 nouns? أب, أخ, فو, ذو, and حم. These 5. So we say we don't say أخوك, أخوك. We need to give it الإشباع, الإشباع, the long vowel. So we say أخوك, أبوك, فوك, ذو مال. ذو مال, someone who has a lot of wealth. ذو علم, someone who has a lot of علم and knowledge. حموك, حموك is your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, and so on. My apologies, حموك is for masculine, so it's father-in-law, brother-in-law, and so on. هذا, so those are the 5 nouns. Let's talk about them in the future as well. We will have a lot to talk about in the future, right? So, but when it comes to كتابك, you don't have to add the waw. قلمك, no waw. So there is no إشباع. إشباع. إشباع is coming from شبع. Someone who is شبعان means full. His tummy is full. He doesn't need food anymore. So إشباع, what we do here, we, instead of giving the short vowel to أخوك, we gave it the long vowel, which is the waw itself. أخوك, أبوك. So this is when the word is مرفوع. When the word is mansub, what we give it? Alif. When the word is majrur, we give it ya. So جاء أخوك. صحيح? Why أخوك? Because it is the subject, right? Your brother came, and your brother here is the subject. If I want to say I thanked your brother, شكرت أخاك. Remember, the object is always mansub. Am I right? And therefore, I cannot give it dhamma. I have to give it fatha. What is the fatha? The fatha is the daughter of, not my daughter, okay? Not Mr. Mataya's daughter, okay? So the daughter of
Alif.
Alif, yes. Mr. Alif is thanking you, Mr. Isaac.
I know, right?
Yeah, and then the daughter of Kasra is the daughter of Ya is Kasra.
Kasra.
So I say Sallamtu ala abika. Abika. Got it? So is this called incline in English, right? To incline, I think. Means that the noun intends to change the ending. That's what we call mu'rabun. Mu'rabun. If mabni, we don't change the ending at all. Like huwa, like ana, like hadha, hadhihi. Always keeps the same value, the same clothes. So we call it mabniyun. So the noun, the part of speech in Arabic is either mabniyun or mu'rabun. This is very important. Mabni, when it is built, doesn't change. And this is for all particles. which is so when we talk about particles and we say mabni, it saves our life, because when the word is mu'arab, there is the confusion. When the word is mabni, we just say, for example, huwa ضمير منفصل مبني على, what do you see at the end? الفتح. هؤلاء اسم إشارة مبني على ماذا؟ على الكسر. نحن ضمير منفصل مبني على الضم, and so on. You got it? So mabni is super easy. Just look at the end. You know that the end will never change, and therefore from there you say mabniyun ala and mention the harakat that you see at the end. But when it comes to mu'arab, then the problem starts. So all particles are mabni. الحروف كلها مبنية. The one of the parts of the speech, right? Gone. Another part of speech, the verb. Verb is 3 types, right? الفعل الماضي and فعل الأمر. These 2 are مبني, always built. شرب, نام, قام, صام, and so on. اشرب, قم, صم, كل, نم, اسبح, and so on. This is always مبني. So for فعل الأمر مبني على الجزم. Correct? كل, قل, نم, صم, جزم all the time. For فعل الماضي مبني على الفتح. أكل, شرب, نام, قام, and so on. We are left with الفعل المضارع. Why we call it مضارع? مضارع means want to act smart, like the noun. So the noun is mu'arab, can change from dhamma to fatha to kasra. The verb الفعل المضارع want to act smart, want to be macham الاسم, and therefore you can see هو يشرب. Correct? But when you add lam, what happens to the verb? Do you remember this? هو لم يشرب becomes مجزوم. Correct? هو لن يشرب becomes mansub. So you can see that the verb turns from dhamma to fatha to sukun. No kasra. For the verb, we don't give it kasra. So the الفعل المضارع can be مرفوع or منصوب or مجزوم. مجزوم means has sukun. So this one Mr. Star will take notes of it for his Saturday class, right? مجزوم. And for the noun is مرفوع, منصوب, and مكسور or مخفوض, depends on the books that you study grammar from. So the all books, they will not using actually مجرور like now. They were using the word خفض, مخفوض, because خفض is to lower down the stroke below. So that's why when you say, for example, alhamdulillah, Allah, in order to be polite with the name of God, we do not say ism majroor. It's not really nice actually to use it with the word of Allah. So we say lafdhu. Lafdhu is like Malay lafaz. Lafdhu al-jalalati. The name of Allah. Lafdhu al-jalalati. And we don't use majroor. We use makhfudun. Makhfudun. Mim, kha, fa, waw, and dad. مخفوض على التعظيم. على التعظيم. على التعظيم. ألف لام تاء عين ظاء ياء and ميم. So this is just for us to be polite with the word God. So you can see how Arabic is حكيمة عادلة. حكيمة wise عادلة fair. Gives the noun 3 حركات ضمة فتحة and كسرة, and gives the فعل المضارع 3 حركات ضمة فتحة and سكون. And we can always see the balance, like the deep thoughts, they accept just 2 حركات. I mean, the sound feminine plural has just 2 حركات. So there is always a balance in Arabic, even in the grammar. Let's continue. So we can complete actually the exercise. كم فندقا, we had it, كم فندقا في هذا الشارع. So فندقا again is تمييز منصوب. تمييز, and the تمييز is منصوب. كم فندقا في هذا الشارع. How many hotels are in this شارع. شارع, which is the street. Jalan, right? Jalan. By the way, Jalan, I guess, wallahu alam, the Jalan is coming from Arabic, because the verb in Arabic to take a tour is jala. Jala. Jim, alif, and lam. Jala is to visit this place, right? And the noun or the gerund from jala is jawalan. Jawalan. So maybe it was taken to Malay and you remove the waw to make it easier and become jalan instead of jawalan. Wallahu alam. That's what I guessed, because I was trying to find why it's jalan. So yeah. So let jalan everybody one of the days. And let's go to the next one. كم فندقا في هذا الشارع. في هذا الشارع فندقان, right? فندقان. So فندقان here is مبتدأ مؤخر, am I right? You can always say فندقان في هذا الشارع. The Arabs usually, when there is شبه جملة من الجار والمجرور, they like to start with it. So when you ask someone كيف حالك, we will not say الحمد لله, we say لله الحمد, and then we'll confuse you why this guy is turning actually this. Yeah. So في هذا الشارع فندقان اثنان, because it's masculine. كم مسجدا في قريتك. How many mosques are in your canton? Canton, I guess it's from French. I like to analyze this because the French word is compagne. 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 So which is quite close to canton. Allah. So maybe, or maybe it's in Portuguese or some other languages which we don't know. Kam masjidan. So في قريتي. If I do not want to mention في قريتي, what do I need to say? فيه or فيها? What do you think?
فيه.
Would you say هذا قرية or هذه قرية?
هذه.
هذه, right? Because of تمربط at the end.
Yes.
Yeah. So فيها مسجدان اثنان. Let's move to the next one. If one of you can give an example, please. I guess Mr. Matthias is trying. Miss Anissa as
Okay,
well.
I'll try.
Okay.
I'll try. كم طالبا في فصلكم.
نعم, ممتاز. Very good example. كم طالبا في فصلكم. So how to answer this question?
في فصلنا طالبان.
faslina, right? Answering. Or how to say in it. فيه or فيها.
فصل فيه
Go ahead, Mr. Isaac.
Yeah.
No, Mr.
No,
Isaac.
wrong again.
Because فصل, we say هذا فصل, and therefore it's فيه, masculine. فيه, how to say 5 students?
Tali
خمسة
tall 5 student طلاب خمسة.
No.
طلاب خمسة
Okay,
Okay,
next.
no.
خمسة
Who can try? Mr. Matthias? In it, 5 students.
خمسة
في فيهم
فيه
No, just one. فيه,
فيه
in the classroom, just one classroom.
خمسة
How many
طلاب
students? 5. So do we put 5 first, or we put students 5? Students first.
we put the students first.
Now, from 3 to 10, we put the number first.
Oh, okay.
So
So-
what is 5?
فيه خمس طلاب.
خمسة
Very close. So
خمسة
from 3 to 10, the number has to be the opposite in gender of what you are counting.
خمسة طلاب.
خمسة طلاب. And this is, by the way, one of the culture. It was عيب. It was rude for a man to ride a male horse. Yeah. So that was actually the culture. So the horse has to be faras, which is unta hisan, and not hisan, which is a horse. In some of the tribes and all. I mean, this is how the culture was and all. So even the number, when you count something masculine, give the feminine number. You count something. So this is just from 3 to 10, by the way, in order not to confuse you. Okay. So it is also from 11 to 99 in a way, but because there is the number 10 from 11 to 19 would be a bit confusing. So for example, when you say 14 students, the number 4 needs to be feminine. Student is masculine. Number 10, we don't care. It should be masculine as well. So there must be the opposite. So فيه, Mr. Matthias, back to you, sorry. فيه خمسة طلاب. فيه خمسة طلاب. If we are talking about طالبات, which is feminine, then you say فيه خمس طالبات. فيه خمس طالبات. And talking about feminine and masculine, some of the words in Arabic are masculine, and they are used, because there is no masculine and feminine, so they are by default masculine. Like, for example, pregnant. There is no masculine and feminine for pregnant. Only women will be pregnant, right? And therefore, we don't say imra'atun hamilatun. We say imra'atun hamilun. The word hamil stays masculine because it's known that only the woman is pregnant. You get what I mean? We will see some of the examples. So, فيه خمسة طلاب. شكرا, Mr. Matthias. Let's go to السنة. السنة is the year, correct? So we say سنة سعيدة. Which one is correct? سنة سعيدة or عام سعيد? Did you hear about عام? عام means year. سنة means year. However, when you take a look at Quran Kareem, you find that the word sana comes with hardship. The dream of Yusuf alayhi salam when he was take a look at the dream of the 7 cows. Maybe Mr. Matthias, you went through some of this. Sorry if I'm sharing a bit of religious things in the Arabic class, Mr. Matthias. I know that you are interested in the culture and all, so I'm sorry about that.
7 cows, is it?
The 7 cows. If you heard maybe the story of Joseph, because he was given by God the power of the science of interpreting the dreams. So that
yes. Yeah. Okay, now Joseph. Yeah, I think we have something like that also.
Yeah. So the king of Egypt dreams of 7 cows and then 7 sumbulat, and then Yusuf alayhi salam interpreted this to the person who asked him. He was at the prison at the time. When he interpreted, when he was talking about the hard years, he was using the word sana. And then when after the 7 hard years, he said, ثم يأتي بعد ذلك عام. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't use sana, he used عام. عام, which is a year. فيه يغاث الناس. غيث means the rain will be raining. وفيه يعصرون, they will make wine and all. It was okay at the time to drink wine, right? So وفيه يعصرون. So the usage was for عام, was عام and not sana. عام was because everyone would be happy, everything would be fine and all. But for the hard years, the word was sana and not عام. Unfortunately now, when someone is celebrating his birthday or is having, for example, they use, a lot of people, they use sana and not عام. Yeah. So كم شهرا means month في السنة. How many months are in the year? So how many? They are 12, right? So شهر, take a look here. 11 and 12. 11 and 12. They are أعداد مركبة. Instead of saying واحد وعشرة, اثنان وعشرة, ثلاثة وعشرة, from 11 to 19, the Arabs, they said, let's make it easy for us. Instead of saying واحد وعشرة, we say أحد عشرة, أحد عشرة. So both of them are mabni. We don't change. Even, for example, you have harf jar في أحد. It didn't affect it because it's mabni. With the exception of itna. Itna is following the muthanna rules. Only the first part itna, the other ashara is mabni, or always built. So how many months we have? Itna ashara shahra. So masculine. Those are just the exceptions for 11 and 12. If the thing that you are counting is feminine, then you say ithnata ashrata. Ahada ashara kawkaban. Correct? That's what it's used for as well. Second, last question. من يقرأ لنا هذا السؤال? Number 7. Anyone? You must be tired. Let me read it, okay? كم and then للدراجة. دراجة means bicycle or motorcycle. So to differentiate between motorcycle and bicycle, we add another word. So دراجة هوائية. Hawa is coming from hawa, right? Air. In Malay also hawa. دراجة هوائية means it use petrol or electricity or anything, right? And therefore, هوائية, just the hawa. You go and enjoy yourself in the nature. That is bicycle. For motorbike, we say دراجة نارية. نارية because you use petrol, and the petrol creates smoke, and the smoke sometimes you can see some splashes of fire, right, coming out from the. So that is nar, which is fire, and it's called darajatun nariya, which is motorbike. So the motorbike or the bicycle, they have two wheels, right? So I will say كم عجلة. عجلة is the wheel. كم عجلة للدراجة. So the answer will be للدراجة عجلتان. But sometimes we can see in the streets the ones with three, right? So we can see ثلاث عجلات. Why ثلاث masculine? Because عجلة is feminine. And last question, كم في غرفتك؟ في غرفتك كم نافذة? How many windows you have in your room? How to say I have 4 windows? The 4 will be masculine or feminine?
Masculine.
Think.
Masculine.
Masculine. Why? Because
The
نافذة.
window is feminine.
Yes. So في غرفتي or فيها 4 نوافذ. نوافذ. هذا is a deep thought. Why? Because na wa, there is an alif after 2 letters followed by 2 letters, which is جمع صيغ منتهى الجموع or صيغة منتهى الجموع. نوافذ. هذا وبالله التوفيق. Do you have any question? You must be very tired, everybody. Sorry, Miss Anisa, we spoiled your program of sleeping early. My apologies, Mr. Mahmoud. Mr. Mahmoud, despite being tired and just finished work, I really appreciate your presence, Mr. Mahmoud.
It's okay, Mr.
Such a pleasure seeing you, Mr. Mahmoud. I would love to see you, everybody, face to face soon, inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah. It's possible.
And then, please, Mr. Isaac, when we meet, don't pull Mr. Matthias' legs. That day you really disturbed him, right, Mr. Isaac?
Yeah, because he's the youngest and the odd one.
The youngest, and he has a lot of knowledge to share.
Yeah,
Now
that's
he will be
very
studying Japanese, so he will start reading the history of Japan. Am I right, Mr. Isaac? Mr. Matthias? I'm sure that you will dive into the books of the Japanese culture. I really envy you.
Long way to go.
Yeah, slowly but surely, I'm sure. Hopefully, after that, we all will be able to dive into the Arabic books, and there are millions of them. Millions, trust me. We will start by the simple ones, and then slowly but surely we'll be able to. What do you think? I can prepare a little qissa, a little story. We try to read it. And from there we know we read the meaning, and from there we try to create something similar. Sounds good?
Yeah, sounds good. I think that would be great.
Yeah. So we can from there start speaking Arabic slowly.
Very good, very good.
Inshallah. Okay, everybody. I wish you a good night.
I wish you a good night too.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. مع السلامة.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good night.
Shukran laki.
شكرا لكم جميعا. مع السلامة. Mr. Sir, I wanted actually to share with you something about the rules.
Oh, only to Abasata. Okay.
No, all of you, if you would like to say. I just remembered, my apologies. the rules of Nun Sakina and Tanween. I prepared actually long ago a PowerPoint when I was teaching in Al Misbah Academy. So I have actually the rules of Nun Sakina and Tanween, explaining actually the rules of Idgham, Ikhfa, Iqlab, and so on. So, by the way, you see, Adhara is to show, correct? Adhara is just like Dhuhr. Dhuhr, everything is bright, the sun is there, right? That is the time of Dhahira. What is the opposite of Idhar? So the noun is taken as Idhar. The opposite is Ikhfa. What is the meaning of Akhfa? Akhfa is to hide. What are we hiding in Ikhfa? What we are hiding? The sound of Noon. Instead of pronouncing the Noon, like Kitabun, Kitabun, we use the nasal. So we say Kitabun, and then with an extra two harakats, elongated. That is Ikhfa. So, and for Ikhfa, it has few letters actually to to memorize. There is idgham also. Idgham is when you join one letter with another letter. Just like what we have learned about shadda. When we have shadda, means that there are two letters connected, joined. So we can do that between two words as well. Like for example, we have nun sakina at the end, or tanween, followed by ra. So we say, instead of saying unra, we say urra. So we drop the tanween. So that is idgham. The letters of idgham are 6. Ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, and nun. We join them into this word, yarmalun, yarmalun. And the idgham is 2 categories. One is with ghunna, the nasal. One is without ghunna. So one idghamun bi ghunna, and another idgham bila ghunna, or biduni ghunna. So the idgham with ghunna are 4 letters. Yanmu, yanmu. When those letters are following nun sakin or tanween, there is idgham with ghunna. What we left from yarmalun? So yanmu. We have ya, nun, mim, and waw.
Lam and ra.
We have ra and lam. Those are without ghunna. Without ghunna. So that is the idgham. So when you know the 6 letters afwan of idgham, you know the 6 letters of idhar. Idhar means when you have when you pronounce nun sakina or tanween followed by one of huruf al-halq. Huruf al-halq are joined in this poem. Akhi, akhi, the first one is a. Haka, ha. علما عين. حازه حاء. غير غين. خاسر خاء. So they are 6. They are from حروف الحلق. أخي هاك علما. What is the meaning of أخي? My brother. هاك means take. علما, take this knowledge. حازه, whoever has this knowledge. غير خاسر, we never fail, or we never khasir is to the opposite of winner. So it's good actually to memorize the rules of tajweed based on some poems. So when you memorize the poem, we will be able to remember. And iqlab is just one. What means qalaba? Qalaba is to flip something. So what we are flipping here, the noon when it's followed by ba. Ba, right? Followed by ba. It's just one letter. This tanween will change into mim. Ba. Right? So that is the iqlab. What left from al-huruf al-abjadiyya or al-hijaiyya? is for al-ikhfa. So they are how many? 15, right? So that's how it's easy actually to explain Mr. Satsar if you are going to go through this on Saturday. If you can just give them roughly what are al-idgham, what is al-idgham, what is al-ikhfa, um, and I will. I have actually a book. I downloaded it online, and from there I created the PowerPoint. I will just try to find it, and then I will send it to you, Mr. Star.
Yes,
I can send it in WhatsApp, so you can all take a look at it as well.
yesterday you mentioned Saidi about the Tanwin, the
the
two
two
lines
lines,
in which they are
they are
separated
separated
sideways.
sideways.
That
That
is
is
for
for
which
which
one?
one?
For which
For
of
which
these
of
rules?
these rules?
You
You
mentioned the
mentioned the
Dhamma
Dhamma
and
and
Dhammatain
Dhammatain
and
and
I think
I think
Kasratain,
Kasratain,
or not
or not
Kasratain
Fathah
that
that
has
has
a
a
double.
double.
Yeah, you are right. Let me just get a pen. Zurusi, can I have a pen? قلم. نعم. So Uthman Taha, Mr. Ustad, that I mentioned yesterday, he's still alive, and he's an amazing person. MashaAllah, he has a very very nice handwriting, and he masters the calligraphy, the Arabic calligraphy, and until now he's still powerful. His hand is shaking a little bit, but he is still able to no, thank you. He's still able actually to continue writing. So take a look at this. I'm not sure if you will be able to see. So this is the Dhamma. For Uthman Taha, so when you say, for example, kitabun, on, so he will put the Dhamma here, and the noon supposedly to be this way, something like this. He usually for idhar we write it with Dhamma and with a cup on top of it. This cup long ago refers actually to the noon. It just looks like noon but without dots. And then so this one, whenever you see it in the tajweed, this means idhar. Idhar from the huruf al-halq. أخي هاك علما حاز غير خاسر. That is idhar. When he wants to show idhar also with double fatha or double kasra, he writes them straight like this. If the noon is not shown, because the noon is or noon sakina, the sound of noon is shown only with idhar, right? If it is not shown, means something is missing, something is minus, is not complete. So ikhfa, idgham, ikhfa and idgham are actually not a complete sound of noon, right? And therefore for this dhamma and the cup on top of it, he will write it separate, dhamma and dhamma. So in the colorful mushaf, you will find it in red or in green to differentiate between ikhfa and iqlab. And for the other one, like kasra, and he will write it this way, which means it's slanted, it's not complete. That's what I wanted actually to explain, but I had actually to write like this. I think it could be very much easier actually. So I was just still stiff, and then everyone was new to me, so I was malu and shy. Yeah, and Mr. Isaac was not supportive, unfortunately. I mean,
Yeah,
He was so quiet,
mashallah.
mashallah.
he was so quiet. Where is Mr. Isaac, who is always disturbing Mr. Matthias?
Observing.
Look at Mr. Luki now. He doesn't come to see us because of you, Mr. Isaac.
Sir, my Muslim, I think is by Usman Taha, right? This one?
Is it a Mus'haf Athmani? Sorry.
Yes, I got this when I performed my Hajj from at the airport.
Yeah, can you make it closer? Sorry, Miss Anisa. That's, you see, this handwriting is by Uthman Taha. You see Ba'dan here, Ba'dan, everybody. You see that's this Ba'dan. The tanween here is slanted. It's slanted because it's followed by wow, and therefore this wow, this wow is part of the idgham letters, and therefore we say Ba'dan with nasal. So that this font is by
Uthman Taha.
Uthman Taha. Lately in Saudi Arabia, they use. Now you can actually.
Sorry, I need to go first. I need to feed my cat.
Oh, sure, Mr. Taha.
Okay.
Sorry. Take care, Mr. Taha. See you next
See you. Bye bye.
إلى اللقاء. مع السلامة. مع السلامة. So, for the writing of Uthman Taha, mashallah, now became a font, so you can download it. And you can use it, mashallah. Look how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed the man with all this, and in some of the mushafs, it's actually his handwriting. Now some of the mushafs, they made actually his font. They are printing the mushaf using the font only, not his real handwriting. That's why you can see that the mushaf is getting thinner. Maybe if you go now to Madina, they will give you a thinner version. The one is just the font. Yeah. So may Allah bless him. He's such a nice gentleman. He's so blessed. May Allah bless all of us. And I mean, bless this time that you are spending to learn the beautiful language. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. And I really appreciate your presence. And I wish you a great night. We didn't play a game for long. I will try, inshallah, to find some time to create some kahut for us or some myro for us, inshallah, so that we can. No, Mr. Isaac? Okay, Mr. Isaac. Mr. Isaac said no, he doesn't want to play. Yeah. So that's about it. It's always an honor seeing you all. Have a good night. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
everyone as well.
Thank you.
Welcome. Assalamu.
Assalamu.
Assalamu.